asalaamu calaykum waraxmatullahi wabarakaatu walaalayaal kusoo dhawaada walaalkiina muumani channelka crypto taajir suuqa waxaan ka maqnaay I think for a while dhinaca la yiraahdo posting the videos. Life is busy alxamdulilah. Waxaan insha allah ni rajeynaa ramadaan wanaagsan ilaah naga dhiga ummadda ramadaanka ka aqbalay ilaahna ramadaankana si nawaad aan ugu dhamaysiiyo dambigeen allah noo dhaafo aamiin. Um, in yar aan ila qaybsano waxaa waa dhinaca BTC. BTC has been seeing at least a good rally fiican ayuu meeshaanito dhinaca BTC ka imaaday from the FTX sell off ka dhacay FTX crash markuu ka dhacay. You can see maybe some 80% increase impulsive momentum kasoo dhacay BTC. It came back up to 28,000 kusoo taabtay, retested the 28,800 on a closing monthly. We want to see BTC close above the 28,800, and then we are definitely going to see retest the 33,000 caseto or the 32,000, wherever you have on your next resistance. People vary. They have their own resistance setup. But however, I think my take is the likelihood for it to continue. We definitely need to see a lot of changes in the market, a lot of momentum coming in, especially on the volume. You see, greed kamarkal firio. The greed is way high right now. It's about 68. I think that's what it was. If you also go back now and try to assess, you can see the last week wuxuu ku sameeyey 26% a rally on BTC. So just on a weekly kind of close 26%. Now we might even have this thing indecisiveness or maybe even a bearish closing candle, not above 28,000. 28,000 Caseto has been a really a high resistance on BTC, and even if you go back at the BTC dominance, it has come up to a major resistance. Let's see, where's my BTC dominance? Here's my BTC dominance. Let's go reset it right now. It has retested a previous BTC dominance. We have a good major resistance level. This used to be a resistance level, but other than I just got to change it and make this a support. So one thing, BTC is showing up on a 4 hourly, and it has been on a 4 hourly previously. waxaa ka arkaynay some bearish divergence meeshaan suuqa soo galay, and in that bearish divergence you can easily waxayna u muuqataa that you have a higher highs on your price and you are making a lower lows on your momentum. That momentum caseto that tells you, hey, BTC is actually getting a pullback, and that pullback eventually will dona. It's going to be a slow trickling sell-off, and that sell-off has started. We've seen almost a 3% on a daily, but on a 4% just the sell-off today on a 4 hourly candle, almost a 6% sell-off, and that happened today on a FOMC meeting. We've seen a sell-off, so it got rejected on the 28,000. You're definitely looking at least another sell-off for BTC to retest. You break this. What I'm looking at, and this trend line. You see this trend line. Yes, we had a sell-off, and now we had a retest of this seller of this trend line. Maybe go back up and retest the 28,200 caseto and get rejected, and eventually BTC come back down again. This is where I'm looking at BTC for it to at least come back down to 21k caseto to make another rally, to see another rally BTC, or ku noqdo meesha ka imaado, or even maybe close above it. We definitely need to see this retest happen, because from the time BTC or so kacay on a daily basis, also test Grena this 25,000. We did see a retest on a 0.618 approximately. Yes, it also landed on the dot 28. About 19,000 caseto. That was a good retest on a 0.618. So I'm looking another retest other taneto for it to come back again, or another retest Osamayo, and you're not even looking far away. If you just go up and say here, now you have your fib measure to 23,000 caseto. That might set you up for another goal or another short relief, maybe come back down again and go back up and eventually BTC to come back to this area, the 21,000. And the reason why aniga aan isdhahoyo that 21,000 kaaseeto oo BTC oo soo taawo doono, the likelihood oo ku noqon doono meeshaaseeto oo soo taano doono is the BTC futures trading, the gaps, BTC gaps. So we have two gaps here. You have one gap here, Meshaneto, almost the 35,000 Kaneto, to test above the 35,000 and test that. So if BTC ends up closing above the 28,000, yes, we are going to go and fill this gap. However, the likelihood of Meshaseto Adidono, to me, I see it's a very slow. This could be a definitely a bull trap. So we see that BTC markuu ka imaaday right after the FTX crashing. Right after the FTX markuu soo crash garay oo 15 kaneeto oo soo taabtay lows oo samaystay. And then it started making an impulsive movement. 25,000 kan oo soo taabtay. It created a gap, and you can see once it went up above, it made a gap here. What 25,000 oo soo taabtay, but eventually waxaa aragnay a small sell off ilaa gaabkaneeto oo kasoo buuxiyey. So having said that, we know eventually gaps get filled. And now was soo noqday as it was coming back down again. It made wuxuu samaystay another gap. So this is another opportunity or BTC that it's setting up itself for. That is when the market came back in. This is when the bank runs or die. So SVP crashed. Credit Suisse, I think also Silvergate, when the bank ranks or kadacay oo bangiyasha laga carar lacagta lagala baxay, and they stopped closing and they stopped trades for those banks. And then we saw this huge gap in between the 20,000 and 21,000. So this gap is going to get filled, whether we like it or not. So as you go, when this happened, it also created another gap in between. This is a small gap. That's when 28,000 Kasotapte, and we can see that gap pretty well in the 4 hourly candle. So this 4 hourly candle Ujeda, it got filled in today. So right now you have a what you might call a retest, and then go back up again in that 28,200 Kaseto, and then we might see another sell off to retest at the 25,000, stay there for a while, support Kaseto. Some longs may come back in, is Sukaneto, you can long it to 32,000 Kaseto, and then we might get the bull trap. So that is another place Lusugayo for this gap to be filled. However, if this gap Kaneto gets filled and it loses this trend line, and it breaks this and closes under this trend line, with this also like your 18,000 support, as your support line, horizontal line. Lawadanit had you so GBO definitely BTC. I'm looking to see a new lows. So there is a 60% chance marko haddii uu meeshan soo jibiyo that we are going to see a new lows, but haddii uusan soo jibinin that it supports and it stays here for some while and the bullish momentum comes back again, we definitely are going to rally up and go. Once it goes and fills that, we are going to see this gap of 35,000 getting filled. Another thing, ka arkaysid suuqa some weakness that it's actually developing. The ka imaano dhinaca momentum kaseto bearish momentum ku jiro. You can also see, yeah, there is some this impulsive price movements kaneto ka dhacaya suuqa. You have this high price action, volume continuation ka dhacaya suuqa for volume keys oo dhacaya. But if you look at on your 4 hourly, you do have one or two impulsive movements suuqa wuu ku cooyaa, but you can also pay attention to your volume. It's coming down with not a continuation. So yes, we are seeing some impulsive suqa. Yes, we are seeing some volume coming in, trying to push the price higher. But you could also you could also see that your volume, these volumes are really high volumes. That tells you the price should have been somewhere here with just that one volume. So it could that tells you a lot, that this was definitely some profit takings akujurtay, some liquidation akujure, and the price could not continue. So there is a huge liquidity or meshanet sort of that 20,000 kaseto to 21,000. We are eventually going to come back down and test that. Waxaan igu soo gabagabeynaa insha Allah, and some other time I will just keep posting and updating waxaan ugu soo gabgabeynaa the FOMC meeting. Now that I know, Aniga, this is not a place I'm looking into getting a trade. If you're looking for a long term, definitely this is worth it when it comes to that. But on a short trade, there is some opportunity that is going to just develop and come back again. The shorts are highly profitable than longs hadirtaan la dhahayo, so there's going to be a lot of shorts liskaaga ilaaliyo. If you go into opportunity is leedahay, waxaa ka raadinaysaa trades in between here and there, waa ka helaysaa. Those trades are going to be there from the time we at least had um, this, sell off, and then we came back from this channel like so Jibine, yeah, we made a new high, a new local high, and now we're expecting a new local low in suuqa soo galo. With that, waxaan ugu soo dhameynayaa the FOMC meeting. Volume-ka aan ka bixiyo, soo celiyo, display it. Rate cuts are not in his best case scenario. So it doesn't look like Meshanet rate cuts in a sort of the high. It's not around the corner. But hence the higher rate cuts was sort of so gabgabenina. So the rate cuts are going to continue until he says it in or gives. He's not going to say directly after Bahaya, but there are some indications. The market, the CPI data coming down, all that, and also them reaching, I think, a Fed rate of maybe above 5 points to maybe 5.25 melas in Ligaro. Even some economists had and 5.75 in Ligaro. Manta suuqa wuxuu taaganaya 5.0. That was the target. So we don't know sanadka inay ku dhamay doonaan to 5.75 or maybe 5.25. That is yet to be known. But BTC is yet to see another high. So just keep that in mind. With that, waan ugu soo dhaweeyey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just let me know in the comments your thoughts. What do you think of, and what's the likelihood of it, inshallah?